had a request tonight for a topic that feels so appropriate. And I kind of feel like we could talk about this one once a month, but it was a request to talk about um, being out of alignment or feeling like things are incongruent, coping with the body responses or reactions of knowing it's not what I want, but it's the way things are right now. The feelings or emotions that come up for me in describing that is powerlessness. And so just noticing in your body if that hits, or if you might apply a different one. I know at times hopeless would have been appropriate for me, or if I'm in my own shit, sometimes it might be helpless, but I'm just owning it. So that powerlessness of kind of what happens when the world keeps spinning and shit's happening and there's not a lot I can do about it. And sometimes there is a solution, but there takes some time in order for that to be put in place. And what happens this time of year for many people is triggers, stressors, and relapses. I know there's a lot of meetings and a lot of places where people are like, don't say that. Don't talk about that. Then it'll happen. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm not that powerful, first of all. And secondly, this is the only place to talk about it. The elephant in the room. The safe place where shit's going to happen. And I don't like that I can't control it. And you guys have been with me long enough to know an amberism for this out of alignment or incongruence when I'm powerless is, I usually call that I'm sitting in the shit. And the reason that that is so true for me is slowing down and sitting in it is the opposite of what I want to do. Breathing, one foot in front of the other, and it feels at times like I'm in a snow globe that someone has shaken, and I'm just, it's slow motion, and I'm just looking around trying to sit in the shit because there's nothing I can do about it. It's not what is happening isn't a direct consequence of something I've done. However, I might be having some consequences of what someone else has done. And I'm sitting in the shit and I don't like it. And sometimes when I'm in that place, I can blame and blame because that's what I feel like I can do. Or I can worry and get myself all worked up because that's what I can do about it. There's a lot of really compassionate science around Kristen. I'll think of her last name. She's done this really beautiful research around worry. And while there was a time in the psychology world, in the recovery world, where it would be judged and shamed, like, well, if you sit there and worry, that's not going to do you any good. But in fact, it is something I can do. And it gives me an action. And so if I am worrying about it, it is what I am doing. Because I can tell you a shit ton of things that are way worse than worrying. Now, am I saying worrying is good or healthy? No, not necessarily. But it is something I can do. And as a human, when I'm afraid, I need to do something. So sometimes that's worry. Sometimes that's blame. But sitting in the shit and not having one of those things to do feels unbearable to me at times. Like it feels visceral. I had a session with my therapist this week, and boy, that was the longest fucking hour ever. So please know, other side of the couch, I get it. And I'm so grateful. I sent her an email today because she checked on me, and I'm so grateful because she was in the shit with me. Like, she was right there. But it was so visceral, like wanting to just like claw something. Like my hands were all over. I was watching myself go through freeze and fight. And it's just a matter of when we gain this level of recovery, the awareness is the gift of it. It doesn't mean I always want the awareness, but it does mean that I know when I'm in the shit, it is temporary. And the longer that I sit in that all by myself and I don't talk about it, the more unbearable it becomes. So when people say to me, "Oh, don't talk about that," or "Don't talk about relapse," or "Oh, this is the other one. Don't talk about suicidality." Like I really understand that human logic, but what that does is it tells us that we're wrong. And what I can tell you from a logical place is the reason it's happening is because it's so unbearable. It is visceral to be in that much pain and be alone. And so we do whatever we can do to get some relief. And none of it is bad or wrong. Is it scary as fuck? Yes. That's why we're not doing it alone, or we're trying not. But what I can tell you is not all of us have the blueprint of stop doing it alone, because she said that to me, my therapist, on Wednesday. Just owning my shit, y'all. This is where I can do it, right? I can own my shit here. And don't ever want you guys to feel like you're alone, because the reality is we're fellow travelers. Pathology doesn't treat me any differently just because I'm a therapist. I was in my pathology and recovery way before a therapist. And the ability to recognize when I'm trying to do it alone, it's like, because it's my blueprint. It To isolate, to hide, to not let people know something's hard, it sometimes is so subconscious. And the awareness is don't sit in the shit alone. Don't sit in the shit alone. Okay, who do I call? Who do I text? Because God knows I don't talk on the phone. I don't know if you guys know that about me, but I hate talking on the phone. It is a 1,000-pound phone for me, but I will text. And when I'm out of alignment, when it's incongruent and I'm trying so hard to just do one step in front of the other, time feels like it's slow motion. It feels like I cannot get through it fast enough. This feels like a very, no, I'm not going to judge myself. Um, my home, and I want to very intentionally not call it a house, I want to call it my home, has been under major renovation for today's 3 weeks. And by major renovation, it was a medical necessity mold remediation, meaning they found really bad shit that's infested my house, and they literally gutted her. And in my session on Wednesday, I said to my therapist, the symbolism in what's going on in my house right now and what it feels like in my body, it's not ironic. Like it's, yeah. So we're going on 3 weeks, and the visceral need to have my safe place back, to be able to crawl in my bed, what I call my cave, under my weighted blanket with my dogs, because I don't go in there without them. They won't let me. I'm missing it so bad. And like on Wednesday, my skin was crawling because I wanted to get in there so bad. And what I can say is, I know it's temporary. And I know that what I'm supposed to be doing right now is I'm supposed to be breathing because that's what I have power and control over. And in the times where I can trust the process, I do. And at times where I can reach out to my safe people, I do. And I did that last night, and she was fucking amazing. And I felt like a completely different person after 30 minutes. And it never ceases to amaze me how powerful recovery is because I didn't want to do it. And I did talk on the phone, by the way. It wasn't texting, which felt like even like I need a fucking gold medal for that. But the the invitation to know I got to do differently than was done to me. Because what was done to me was everybody separates when there's feelings. Everybody go to your room and handle it. I do it myself. Like I have to do differently. And when it feels really hard to pick up the phone, I text her and I say, I'm not okay. And she says, I'll call you in 5 minutes. Because she knows I hate fucking talking on the phone. So I'm not calling her. So I want to invite you to think about what are the things that you can do differently. And we'll talk about it more in the tool. But the reason that I want to mention that is I need to know what my survival skills are because when I'm in them, sometimes I can't see out. But if I can recognize that I'm in them, I'm isolating. I haven't talked to anybody today. I haven't eaten today. That one was hard to say, but I needed to say it. When I know what my survival skills and tools are, I need to speak them. The most powerful voice I hear is my own. So when I keep my secrets, when I do it alone, when I'm not fulfilling the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy, I'm not okay. And I need to say that to somebody. So when I am powerless and when I'm in this place of out of alignment or incongruence, when I can't make something happen, feeling the feelings is not my first go-to. And part of that is because I try to do it by myself. So I invite you, especially this time of year, notice if you're in your survival tool, not because you're judging it, but because it was very powerful and very effective at a certain point in your life, but respecting it for what it does. And how do I do that differently? What's my door out? Because my survival skills are not my recovery, not today.